Hello everyone, welcome to ACE Online and welcome to daily current affairs session. So we will cover the current affairs of yesterday as well as today. These are the articles that we are going to cover today. First one about greater adjutant stork. So it is a bird species, a very short article. It was there in yesterday's article of The Hindu, right? So this is part of environment. Then China-Pakistan economic corridor. So this is part of international relations concerning India, right? Next one, proportional representation, a very important article from Polity. Next one, again, cabinet committees. So recently government is forming and there is a good article in the Indian Express. So this is also part of Polity. Next, Birsa Munda, history, modern history. Next one, base erosion and profit shifting. So this is part of economy. Then greening education partnership. So this is part of social issues as well as international relations. So we can take it as social issues, which is an initiative of UNESCO. So these are the articles and we have a few factual pointers as well as some practice questions, right? So I hope everything is fine from my side. Yeah. Very good evening, Srinath, Keshav and Malini. Let's start the session. The first article is about greater adjutant storks. So the bird species, the context is a recent study has proved that the wetlands means any lands which can store water, like it can be agriculture fields, it can be ponds, it can be lakes, right? So these are all getting degraded. These are all getting degraded, which in turn are affecting the habitat of greater adjutant. So greater adjutants are usually, their natural habitat is of wetlands. They live in the wetlands. So these wetlands are degrading. So in turn, it is affecting the greater adjutant stocks. So whatever the factual details related to this particular species, we need to know. Fine. So locally, they are called as Hargila in Assam. This will also be asked in the exam. Hargila name is nickname for this particular species in Assam specifically, right? And they belong to the stork species. So stork is a type of bird species, you can see. This is usually found in the Indian subcontinent, especially in Assam and Bihar. Right? Its breeding centers are located only in the Assam and some part of Bihar and also in Cambodia. So only these three areas in India, Assam as well as Bihar, and then in the Southeast Asia it is found in the Cambodia. Only these three areas it has a natural breeding spaces, right? This is a very important data, particular fact where they can naturally breed, right? So usually they found in the wetlands. This we have already discovered. And in India, the major, even though it is located in Bihar, the major part of its habitat is mainly located in the Assam, right? So this is about the greater adjutant facts. And in the IUCN list, they are given with the endangered status. So you can see here. So this is one of the highest status of protection. That means their number are very less in the whole world. So it is listed as endangered species, and in the Wildlife Protection Act, it is protected under Schedule 4. Schedule 4 is the one which we are, in synchronous with the CITES Convention. CITES Convention. Convention on International Species, Migration of Species. So this convention, whatever the species internationally we are protecting, the same species are included in the Schedule 4, right? So this is part of the Schedule 4. That is about the greater adjutant stork species. A very short article, but yes, a very, very important one from environment. Next one. Prakash, you can mail, if you want to discuss any of the preparation thing, you can mail to the ACE and you can tag my name, so we'll respond, okay? Yeah. Next article about China-Pakistan economic corridor. China-Pakistan economic corridor. The very important article from international relations, which is also concerning with the, Indian relations. The context is, recently, Pakistan Prime Minister has visited China, right? Pakistan Prime Minister has visited China, Shahbaz Sharif has visited he met Xi Jinping of Chinese president, right? And they have promised or they have agreed to develop the China-Pakistan economic corridor in the next phase. So it's been already developed, but they want to take it to the more advanced development, right? So this is the context why we have extracted this article from the Hindu itself, right? Now let's know what actually is a China-Pakistan economic corridor. You all know that Pakistan is not very good country in terms of economic terms. That means it is one of the underdeveloped countries, right? So even recently there is a high inflation, there is high poverty rates and all. So China is naturally not a friend to the India because of the border disputes and all. And also you all know that Pakistan is also not a good friend for India. So it's natural for those countries to collaborate each other. They have came together and they have they are trying to develop. The China government is trying to develop the Pakistan through infrastructure creation whole throughout this length, right? In turn, China will have an access to Indian Ocean. Pakistan is getting the development or whatever the economical things from China. In turn, China is getting access to the Indian Ocean. So that means they can keep an eye in India as well as all in the Middle East, Asia, Africa and all. This is a very important space like Gulf of Oman and then Arabian Sea and all, right? So that is the mutual development. But yes, any country can be developed. That is not a concern for us. But this Chinese economic corridor is passing through Pakistan occupied Kashmir. It is passing through the Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So that is the concern for us. We will see why it is a concern. Before that, let's know some facts. That is, the total length of China-Pakistan economic corridor is 3,000 kilometers, the total length, right? So 3,000 kilometers, and it is connecting the two regions. That is Uyghur Autonomous Region. So Uyghurs are the ethnic Muslims there in China. They are connecting that region with the Gwadar port. You can see here. You can see here they are connecting this Uyghur region till Gwadar port. It is a port in the Indian Ocean, right? Which is located in the Balochistan province. This is all the Balochistan province. And in this region, Gwadar port is located, right? So that's why it is a very important for us also to concern what the development is going on. The questions can be asked. So this is the connecting route. You need to know about the connection points as well, right? So that is one important fact, and it is a bilateral project. It is not supported by any other countries. It is only that China and Pakistan together are taking care of this project, and they are developing all the infrastructure like in terms of railways, roadways, energy, all these things they are developing throughout this length, this red color one, right? So that is the objective and the facts related to it. So as I said, this is important for China in terms of handling, or they will come to know about the Indian Ocean, whatever the activity is going on, and Pakistan will get an infrastructure, of course, right? And yes, mutually benefited. And one more important fact is, it is part of Belt and Road Initiative. This is a sub-project, sub-component of Belt and Road Initiative. We will see that as well, Belt and Road Initiative, right? So Belt and Road, it is part of Belt and Road Initiative. Now, what is this Belt and Road Initiative, right? So China has an ancient history, like it has a very good history like India. There is a Silk Route where silk is traded. Silk is very important for clothing, right? Especially those countries which are residing in the higher latitudes where the colder temperatures are there. That's why from China, which is the largest producer of silk, it used to trade across this region till the European continents, right? Silk. So that's why this trading region is called as a Silk Route, right? And they are also connecting this coastal region of China throughout the Malacca Straits and then Indian Ocean, Arabian Sea, this Gulf of Suez. So they are connecting all these together with the road as well as Belt and Road means this is the road and this is the belt, right? They are connecting all these regions and they will have a dominant hand. If they develop this project, they will have a dominant hand in most of the trade. That's what their aim is to develop. And it was launched in 2013. This was launched by China in 2013, right? Aiming to connect the Central Asia and then Indian Ocean region, Gulf region, Africa and all. It has two principal components as we have seen, Silk Road and Maritime Road. We have already seen Silk Road as well as Maritime route, right? And what about the India stand? You also need to know how India sees this project, not only Belt and Road Initiative, but also China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, how India is seeing this project. India is completely against it. First thing is that it is passing through Pakistan occupied Kashmir. It is an illegal area occupied by Pakistan. So this Belt and Road is passing through our region. This is our region. Pakistan occupied Kashmir is our region, but illegally now at present it is in the hands. So in future we may take it. So China is saying that we are just developing the infrastructure. We are not having any what you call military things. So even though we agree that dispute is between China and India and Pakistan, but this project is specifically for economic things. So if you take example of Taiwan, even if the president has congratulated the Indian Prime Minister, they have came out and they said that it is not, this is not correct thing for India, that Taiwan congratulates India, and they have negated that. But now here they are developing the projects and all. So it is completely of Chinese, whatever they required, they will support that, right? And they are very selfish country, right, in terms of their development and all. So this is the main concern for India, that the project China-Pakistan Economic Corridor is passing through Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So why will we support if this is our area? In future it is going to be in our hands. So how can you develop that, right? So this is one concern. And second concern is that most of the project here includes lot of investments, and China is giving lot of loans for those countries, and they are making they are controlling the internal policies as well, because if there is a high debt, the country will listen to what China will say, right? So that type of activity India is not going to encourage. That is the second concern. And third concern is most of the projects are affecting the human rights in the Uyghur region, where they are there was a lot of reports that they are killing even the Uyghur Muslims there in the Uyghur region. So India is against such type of things as well, right? So all these are concerns for India. So that's why we are not part of this project, and also we are not even supporting this project indirectly. We are completely against this particular project, right? So that is about the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, and also about the Belt and Road Initiative. Any doubts in this, anyone? If you have any doubts, do let me know, else we will move to the next article. Next article is from Polity, that is proportional representation. Proportional representation. Recently, we got the results of 18th Lok Sabha election, fine, and National Democratic Alliance got 43.3% of vote share. That means out of 100 people, 43.3% people have voted for National Democratic Alliance, and they got the seats of around 293. Yeah, 293 seats they got. Similarly, the other bloc, that is India bloc, which was formed by Congress, Trinamool Congress, all other parties together, they got the vote share of 41.6%. Right? They got the vote share of 41.6%, and the total seats are 234. Right? This is not very really concerned for us. Yes, in some exams like lower level railways and all, they are asking the number of seats also, but in higher exams they are not going to ask any political things. But yes, you can basically remember. Now, this is not the issue. The issue is that we have 543 seats, right? 543 seats total in Lok Sabha, and 43% means approximately you can take, yes, here it is calculated already. Yeah, so it projects to 243 actually, right? So the NDA together they got only 43.3%, right? But the votes, the seats that actually they need to get for this particular vote share is 243, but they got 293. 290. That means the percentage of people who has chosen for that party was actually lesser, just 43%. But the seats they got is approximately 60%, 55% approximately. Not 60, it's 55%. So the number of seats that they got is 55%. Number of vote share that they got is 43%. Similarly, for India bloc, they got 41.6%. And the number of seats that they should have got is only 225, but they got extra like 45%, 46% of seats they have occupied. That means it is not synchronity. What people are choosing them, what the vote share that they are getting is not in synchronicity with the number of seats, right? They should have got less seats actually if the percentage is interpolated like this, right? Independents, they got around, the vote share is 15%. The independents, others as well as independents together, not only independents, other parties beyond NDA and India bloc, they got the vote share of 15.1%. But the number of seats that they got is actually only 16. They should have got 75%. 15% of 543 is approximately 75. But the share that the number of seats that they got was only 16. That means they got the higher vote share, but the number of seats was not actually in synchronity. So this is the issue. This is the issue or background that we need to quote here. Now, why this is happening? Why there is a synchronity, right? So that also we will see here. Yes. So that is the context. Now, why is this discrepancy between the seats as well as the percentage of votes? This is because at present we are following the first past the post system. First past the post system. So we are following this particular approach. In this approach, let's understand there are 3% who are contesting from one particular Lok Sabha seat or assembly seats, right? There are 3%. And usually in a proportional representation, the majority should be there. What is majority? Majority should be 51%. So majority means among the existing people, whoever are the majority people are asking for that particular person, he need to win, he or she need to win, right? Majority here is 51%, right? Above 50. But here, this person has got 40%, right? And this person has got 35%, and this person got 25% of vote share, right? This is the vote share. But here, nobody has reached 51%. Usually, they should get the majority. That is the democracy, right? But here, as this is the person who passed the post first, right? Among these 3%, whoever has got the highest, it is not concerned about the majority, rather it is concerning about just crossing the top. Among these three, they just need to get the top. That is the first pass the system. So this is what we are following in now Lok Sabha as well as assemblies. So that's why vote share is not in synchronity with the number of seats. This person from party Z has got this seat, and then other person in other assembly seats also, they got only 40%, 35%. But number of people has won was the higher, right? So this is the first past the post system, right? Now currently we are following in the Lok Sabha as well as assembly, right? So this is about the FPPS. Now, what is the advantages? Why we are following this? This is because it is a very simple thing. Whoever gets the highest, they will be declared as a winner, right? In case nobody got the majority, 51% nobody got it. So they need to conduct the elections again, or they need to eliminate one, this percent vote shares 25%, whatever will be transferred. Next option will be given. Like the person got 25%. Among those 25 people, they will also choose second and third, like how we are following for Rajya Sabha. So that will be transferred. It is a complex thing, right? So that's why it is a very simple, and everyone will understand. Whoever gets the highest will be elected. So that's why we are following to reduce the complexity. And second thing is, there will be a stable government. Because if it is a 51%, then 3-4 parties has to get it. So 40% seats only will be given. If a party has got the 40% share, the number of seats from the Lok Sabha elections, only they will give 40% votes. So if that is the case, there won't be stable government. There is a lot of coalitions and all. That's why this is a very, which you call stable system. That's why we are following it, right? This is what happening, but there are disadvantages also. One thing is, it is not representing the majoritarian. It is not representing the majority of the people. So that is the main concern, right? Now, about the proportional representation system. Now let's see about how it works, right? I hope you are following. In case of any doubts, you can ask here, right? Now let's see about the proportional representation. In the first past the post system, the candidate was the most important one, right? So A, B, C, there are 3 candidates in the first post the system. So their candidate will be important. But now here in the proportional representation, there won't be any candidate. There will be 3 parties, whatever the party they want to participate in the election. There has to be a party, and according to the people will vote to the party rather than candidate, they will vote to the party. X party, Y party, Z party, right? So they will get, say for example, this party has got the 40% vote share, and this party has got the 30% share, and this party got the 30% share. Now, the candidates who has recorded the highest in the first past the post system, they already accumulated, and whatever the majority among the total seats, they will be declared as a winner. But here, in all the constituencies together, they will calculate the voting percentage, and this party all together in all throughout the India got 40% share, 30% for Y, 30% for Z. So among the 543, this party will get only 40% seats, right? It is not about passing the post, but whatever the share that they got, they will be given with that particular seats, and then this party can distribute to whatever the members it want as a members of these seats, right? And then among 543, 30% will be given to Y, and then 543, 30% will be given to Z. So now here nobody can form the government, even though this is the highest one, they alone cannot form the government. They have to take the help of this party, or even these two parties can form together because they got the 60% vote share. So even though this party got highest, these two parties also can form the government. So this is the proportional representation. Based on the vote share, the parties will be given with the seat. So it is an unstable government. So if there is any clash between these two, then government will be collapsed, right? So this is the first proportional representation, but this is a truly representing the democracy. Based on the people's percentage vote share, they are giving the vote. So this is representing the true democracy, but stability will be absent, as well as the complexity will be involved. That's why this is not chosen. This we are using for Rajya Sabha election and Legislative Council, but for Lok Sabha and state assemblies, we are using only the first past the post system, right? So the criticism and all we have already discussed. So this is an example given in the Hindu about this year thing. I mean, compared to 2014, 2019, you can see political parties. So Bharatiya Janata Party got only 31% vote share, only 31%, but the total seats that they won was more than 50, 272 is the majority, right? So they have got more seats because this is first past the post system. Similarly, in 2019, they got 37.3%, but the number of seats are more than 55%, right? The same with the case of many of the parties, and even small parties which are getting the higher vote share, they were not able to get any seats, right? So that's why it is suggesting that there should be some reforms to represent the true democracy, right? So Law Commission has suggested that we can we can test it for at least few seats, if not for all the seats, right? So this is about the proportional representation. Any doubts in this? Any doubts? Okay, fine. Let's move to the next article, that is cabinet committees. This is also from Polity again. Cabinet committees. Okay. The context is, again, this was discussed in the Indian Express explained page, very good article. So the BJP will not cede the four big portfolios. I mean, we have ministries. Recently, our Honorable Prime Minister has formed the government as well, cabinet as well. So Home, Defence, Finance and External Affairs. These are the four important ministries, and these ministries were not given to any of the coalition partners. They themselves has kept this, right? So this is what the context, the article discussed about. Now, the main important one we will see what actually is a cabinet committee and all. Don't worry, just briefly I am explaining you the context. You will again understand it once you know about the cabinet committees, right? So Cabinet Committee on Security. There are a number of 8 cabinet committees. We will see that this is one of the most important Cabinet Committee of Security, where they will discuss about the appointments of the Navy chiefs or defense, military, all those things. Now, as they have all these portfolios, these members will be the ones who are part of choosing these heads, right? So other parties will not have any chance. So the BJP itself will take care of this in terms of the government, right? That is the context indirectly. We'll come back a little bit more about this later. Now let's understand what actually is a cabinet committees. Yeah, very good evening. Welcome to the session. So now let's understand what actually is a cabinet committees. Cabinet means, you all know, it is a smaller council. There is a council of ministers. This is the council of ministers, right? So let's take it like this. This is the council of ministers, right? Approximately 80 to 82 people will be there, different ministries and all. And cabinet is a smaller one, like 5 to 10 people will be there. 5 to 10 people among this cabinet. So cabinet is a small part of council of ministers where the important decisions are taken by the government, right? So it can be 3 to 5, or sometimes it can be 10 also, at max not crossing the 12. So they will meet frequently. Not all the council of ministers will meet frequently. It is a very hectic to discuss with all the 82 people and all. So that's why there will be a small important ministries like Home Ministry, Finance, Defense, Prime Minister of course will be there, and then they take the decisions and they will inform to the other council of ministers, and everyone has to follow it, right, who are part of the council of ministers, right? So this is the cabinet. Now what is cabinet committees? Cabinet committees are a smaller group of committees where 3 to 5 people will be there, right? So it is a group of ministries, right? They will be formed for specific purpose. For example, we want to promote the solar energy, or we want to promote the education. So a small cabinet committee is formed, and then they will discuss what type of reforms has to taken. All these discussion they will put it on a paper, and then they will submit it to the cabinet or the council of ministers. So cabinet committees are the group of ministers who are formed for the specific policy implementation. That is the objective of the cabinet committees, and they are appointed by Prime Minister. A very, very important thing. Cabinet committees are formed by Prime Minister himself. There is no president or there is no other people. So Prime Minister, whatever on his discretion, they can appoint the cabinet committees, and they can this person, Prime Minister, can choose who are all the members, who can be the members, right? So he himself will choose the members of the committee. He can remove whenever he want, right? Even dissolve the cabinet committee itself. So it is completely under the discretion of the Prime Minister, right? Prime Minister may change the numbers like whenever he or she want. Fine. It is usually 3 to 8, a small group for the discussion, right? Now, usually in general, mostly it is only the cabinet ministers, whoever are in the council of ministers, they are appointed as the cabinet committees. They are appointed to discuss the specific policy and then suggest for the cabinet or council of ministers. Now that is not the 100%. They can, even though usually it is followed that only cabinet ministers are there, sometimes other people can also be there. So it is not barred, right? No, I mean outsiders beyond council of ministers, some like technology people can also be involved in these committees. There is no strict regulation that they should not be part, right? A very, very important one, that outsiders are also allowed. It is not barred to be not part of the council or cabinet committee, right? And if the Prime Minister is there, Prime Minister may be there or may not be there in the committee. Prime Minister says that no, these 5 people will be together, I am not part of this, right? So mostly he will be part. And if Prime Minister is part of the committee, automatically he will be the chairman of this committee, head of the committee or chairman of the committee, if he or she will be part of this committee. And if Prime Minister is not present in that particular committee, if the committee is beyond the Prime Minister, he appointed someone else, then others can be the head, right? Whoever the Prime Minister choose. It is completely in the hands of the Prime Minister, right? At present, we have 8 committees total for different purposes. Appointment committee, like it usually gives appointments to the important positions, right? And then accommodation means whoever are elected MPs, they need accommodation in Delhi, right, around the parliament, so that there is a separate committee for giving accommodations. And then there is other committee, economic affairs, cabinet committee on economic affairs, which will take care about the economic reforms in the country, right? And then Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs, which will take care of the managing the schedule of the parliament meetings. And then Cabinet Committee on Political Affairs, this is the most powerful committee which will take the decisions related to the international relations or the domestic policies in a political in nature. And then Cabinet Committee on Security, which will take care of the defenses and all. Then Cabinet Committee on Investment and Growth, Cabinet Committee on Employment and Development Skills. So these are related to the promotion or growth of the country. So at present we have 8 committees, and out of this only 2 committees, Cabinet Committee on Accommodation and Cabinet Committee on Parliament Affairs. These are not headed by the PM currently at present. It can be headed also, but PM is not part of these 2 committees. That's why these are headed by different people. Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs is headed by Rajnath Singh currently, and then Cabinet Committee on Accommodation is headed by Amit Shah. He is a Home Minister. So they were the members who were appointed as a head. Prime Minister is not part of these 2 committees. Rest all the committees are headed by Prime Minister, and he is the chairman of the committee, right? So that is about the cabinet committees. Next one about Birsa Munda. The context is marking the 124th death anniversary of Birsa Munda. Jharkhand Chief Minister has paid tributes, right? You can see here. This is the context. This is why it was there in news. Now we need to know about the Birsa Munda. That is the most important for us. So who is this Birsa Munda? During British times, once they entered into India and then they made into a powerful a business committee, and then they entered into the political nature also. They acquired the many princely states. They have formed the presidencies also, like Bombay Presidency, Bengal Presidency, and then Madras Presidency. So they have grown into a powerful rulers. Now, fine, that is also happened. After that, what they have done, they have formed their own policies, like forest should not be cut, forest cannot be occupied by tribals, and then land system, land revenue systems like Zamindari system, specifically it was started in 1793 itself, Zamindari system, and then Raitwari, Mahalwari system. So they have introduced lot of land revenue systems which were affecting the tribals. Tribals were the ones from thousands of years, their families were residing in forests, right? And also they have occupied the lands who are doing the agriculture and all. Now Britishers has not allowing them to reside in forests, and also to not extract forest produce, to not cultivate in agriculture lands. So they have put all these restrictions on those tribals. That's why, of course, some leaders will emerge. Wherever there is a exploitation, wherever there is a undemocratic ways of governance, there will always be the leaders who emerge there, right? So in such conditions, in the Jharkhand as well as Chhattisgarh plains, in the eastern part of India, the same thing was happening with related to the Munda tribes. Munda tribes were the ones which are residing in the Bihar, Jharkhand region and some part of Chhattisgarh as well. So because of this exploitation, right, the leader Birsa Munda has emerged. Right, a very such days, people were not even concerned about the life. So it is just about the welfare of the people, right? So Birsa Munda has emerged as a leader, and he fought against not only Jamindars but also against Britishers, right? He has revolted against with the name Ulgulan. Ulgulan in 1894 was declared. Ulgulan means locally it was called as revolt. So he has launched this. And with the Dikus, like outsiders as well as Dikus, were not allowed. There was a strict regulation, right? Because of this revolt, he was given with the name Dharti Abba, or the Earth Father. So this is the name given for this Birsa Munda for fighting against the Britishers, right? So he has started struggle in 1900. He died in 1900, right? So this is also important. So he has died, he has started the revolt in 1894 and he died in 1900. So it was said that he was captured by British and kept in jail, but he was poisoned. He was one of the most influencers in the tribes, so that's why British is scared, and he was said to be poisoned. So he killed, but of course still the people started emerging. It's not just about the single person. Now all groups has also revolted against Britishers. So they don't have any option. What they have done, they have passed the Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act. Chota Nagpur is the area which is located near the Jharkhand. So they have passed the Chota Nagpur Tenancy Act in 1908. According to this particular act, there is no regulation, in the sense that the land which is shifted from tribals to other is not allowed, but among the tribals whatever they want to do they can do. So it does not allow the others to buy the tribal lands, and also it gave freedom for the tribals to do their activities, right? So such a huge movement was taken place in India in the early 20th century, right? So to remember this, on his birthday, Birsa Munda birthday on November 15th, we are celebrating Janjatiya Gaurav Divas from 2021. Every year on November 15th, since 2021, we are celebrating Janjatiya Gaurav Divas, a very batteries. Okay, we will see this particular article again. Right? So the context is 16th meeting of inclusive framework on base erosion and profit shifting has been concluded. Right? So we'll see this. What is this? Let's understand what actually is a base erosion and profit shifting. Base erosion and profit shifting. Understand this. This is a country A. This is a country B. Okay. So here this is a developed country. That means there is already resources and the people have capabilities to pay higher. They are already having a, they are earning a good amount. So here a company wishes to, company X we can say, company X wishes to work here. They want to develop manufacturing products and all here because this country is already developed and the people are willing to pay higher. So the company X starts a business here, right? So the taxes in this particular developed countries are usually higher because the people are having high capabilities and the growth is also higher. That's why taxes are higher, right? Taxes are higher and the business activity is also higher because the business want to earn more profit from the people, right? Profits are also higher. Fine. So they need to pay higher taxes also. Now to avoid to pay these higher taxes, what this company X will do, they will have a branch in country B, which is a least developed country or underdeveloping countries. They will have a same branch, the same company. Now what they will do, they will tell that we have a company here also. So the goods is, we are also using the goods here in that particular country. So we are also paying taxes to B. Double taxation is usually not allowed in the country. So if the company is working here as well as here, 2 times tax is not taken by the governments. So that's why they say that we are already paying tax in B for the same goods, so we won't be able to pay. They are misusing the tax loopholes, whatever in the taxation things. So that's why the end result is their base erosion. That means the amount that they are earning, they are eroding for this particular government A. They are trying to save the profit, and also yes, they will do minimum activity here. The main activity is happening in this country only, but the minimal activity is here, but they are paying less taxes. So in the end, this particular company is getting higher profits. They are misusing it, right? And they are sidelining the government regulations. That is called as the base erosion and profit shifting. Now to avoid this, OECD as well as G20 countries together, OECD and G20 countries together, they have launched base erosion and profit shifting mechanism where they will regulate, they will monitor how this business goods are transacting, how money is flowing, everything they will monitor, they will come to know. So that's why they will avoid this base erosion and profit shifting. Who launched this and all are very important. So inclusive framework on BEPS, so to extension of this, they have launched in 2016 with all 147 countries, almost all the countries have come part of it. So they will come to know from which company, from which country they are coming, from which country they are investing, how the goods are transacting, everything will come to know, right? So by collaborating each other, it was launched in 2016. And there are 2 components. Yeah, great. And there are 2 components of this particular project. What they will do, there are 2 components, understand, under this initiative, what they will do. First thing, they will redistribute companies. among the countries, whatever the countries are there around the world, almost all the companies are usually focused on the developed countries, and there are minimal activities, minimal presence in other countries. So now the countries will collaborate in such a way that these companies also will redistribute. So all the countries together will have an equal distribution of companies. That is in terms of equal development, to promote equal development, and in connection to that, all the countries will keep minimum of corporate tax 15%. Here if you have seen, this country has collected only 5% or 10% tax. That's why it is paying tax to the country B. Here it is 30%. That's why they are trying to shift the profit. So that should not happen. That's why minimum 15% of tax every country has to keep. That's the second component. So by doing all these things, they are not allowing countries to illegally or shift the profit and then avoid taxation and all. So that is the objective of this. Fine? Any doubts in this? Okay. Last article, Greening Education Partnership. So they will ask you which international organization has initiated this and all. So Greening Education Partnership is the article, and this was the context. It was a UNESCO UNESCO initiative. Under this, they have launched two new tools. Two new tools were launched. This GEP, under this GEP itself, they have launched two new tools, that is Greening Curriculum Guidance. Greening Curriculum Guidance is one tool. We will see what is that. And then Green School Quality Standards. So one more thing they have launched, two tools they have launched, right? We will see what are them. Let's understand first what actually is a Greening Education Partnership. It was launched by UNESCO in 80 member states, that is 80 countries. The aim is to promote the climate crisis, to make awareness all the students to know about the ongoing climate crisis. Because for example, as a child, when we were reading the books and all, we never come across the terms like climate crisis and all. We know some societal aspect or economical aspect, or if it is other subject, physics, chemistry or local language, we never came to know about the climate crisis and all. So they want to promote the element of climate change and climate crisis within the curriculums in the schools, right? So that students will be more aware about what is happening and they themselves behave in a way that they are not affecting the climate in the future, right? So that is the objective of this program. Under that, they have launched two initiatives recently, two tools. Green Curriculum Guidance. So it is a practical manual, how the theory will work, how the climate is impacting. So it is a practically making students to know about the climate education, right? So the students will be knowing practically how the climate is impacting, what is the consequences and all will be known. So this is one tool. And next tool is Green School Quality Standards. So it will set the minimum requirements on how to create the green schools. For all the schools in those 80 countries, they will give minimum requirements that yes, you need to include this particular in this chapter, or this type of activity should be conducted in the labs. They will set the minimum targets or minimum requirements for all the schools. So this is the two initiatives launched by UNESCO. So that is of the articles. Now let's see some factual pointers whichever are relevant for our exam. First one, researchers have found for the first time antlion species. Antlion species for the first time, it was found in 3 countries, that is India, Thailand and Vietnam. These are nothing but the insects. They belong to the insects. So you have to remember, antlions are insects and they were first time discovered in India, Thailand and Vietnam. This is one fact. Next one, about heat domes. Understand this is a very important one, conceptual one. Cities across the USA, western USA as well as southern USA have facing the heat waves because of the heat dome event. So you need to understand what actually is a heat dome. That is the most important one. So let's understand what is heat dome, a very important conceptual one. Usually the pressure, for example, 10, it should be the 10 bars for example, and because of this 10 bars, whatever the air, you are standing here in your city, if there is a low pressure in the higher one, so the wind usually moves higher. So whatever the winds that are rushing from other regions towards, it will rise up and it will go into the atmosphere, because always winds move from high pressure to low pressure, right? So high pressure to low pressure, winds move from high pressure to low pressure. And what usually on the land, when we compare to the other higher heights, there should be a higher pressure on the land, and as you go up there will be low pressure. So winds move towards the atmosphere. But what is happening? There is a high pressure zone which is occurring here. High pressure zone means what? Particles are moving very close than before. So particles are very close. Now whatever the winds that are coming from other parts of the land towards this particular region, they try to rise us up. And usually they need to go above atmosphere. But because of this high pressure, there is no gap to escape. So it is pushing the winds. Whatever the winds that are rising up, it is pushing down towards our surface, Earth's surface here. So now what is happening? As this high pressure zone is formed above this region, this is pushing the winds lower, and because of this winds persist there, they will become high pressure. So because it is pushing all the winds will rush here. This will become a high pressure zone, and also the heat that they have carried will stay in that particular land itself. It won't escape into the atmosphere, rather it will stay on the just above our heads, right? That's why we are having a heat waves, because of this heat domes which is created at the top above our surface because of jet streams. There is many facts. So because of that we are having a heat waves in the lower parts of the atmosphere. So this is what happening in the USA. Is this clear? Great. So that is about the thing. Next fact, that FSSAI, Food Safety Authority of India, has given an advisory that we should not use liquid nitrogen in the foods. There is a lot of liquid nitrogen in terms of ice foods and all they are using, but it was asked to ban because it has a asphyxiation and damage to internal organs. So we are not having proper breath, and then organs are also being affected. That's why it is asking to ban, right? So those are the important facts that we have. Now let's see some practice questions. I hope these are clear. Now let's see the practice questions. We have 7 practice questions today, very important ones. With reference to, first question, with reference to heat dome seen in news recently, consider the following statements. It occurs when an area of low pressure traps cold air over the region. It is saying that when any area with low pressure traps the colder air at any region. So that is leads to the heat dome, they are saying. First statement. The heat dome's formation enables the creation of high heat leading to formation of a cyclonic precipitation. So this is the second statement. The heat dome's formation enables creation of high heat leading to the formation of cyclonic precipitation, they are saying. So what is the answer for this? So first statement, it is not low pressure zone, it is a high pressure zone. We have seen, right, with the diagram itself. It is a high pressure zone. Low pressure zone means all the winds will rush and it will lead to the cyclone. That is low pressure zone, right? Cyclone is occurred when the low pressure zone is formed and winds are attracted. But this is a high pressure zone which are stagnated there. Because of that, heat is trapped below the atmosphere, right? So first statement is wrong. Second statement, heat domes formation enable creation of high heat. Fine, that we understood. Half of the statement is correct. Leading to formation of cyclonic precipitation. No, it will not lead to the cyclonic precipitation. Rather, it will create the high pressure and then it will increase the heat. So only if it is a low pressure zone, winds will rise and it has to rise up. For cyclone, all the winds has to rush up and then it has to rise up. so that wind will be given away, rain, precipitation will be given in form of rain. But because of this whole heat dome here, they are not even allowing to rise up, and then no precipitation will be there. So second statement is also wrong. Hence answer is D. Yes, Ramzan Khan has answered this as correct. Next question, with reference to China-Pakistan economic corridor, consider the following statements. Yes, Swarupa, correct for the first question. About China-Pakistan economic corridor, consider the following statements. First one, it is part of Belt and Road Initiative of China. First statement. Second one, this corridor will link China with KT Bandar port in Pakistan. So this corridor is going to connect the KT Bandar port in Pakistan, they are saying. Second, this corridor poses a threat to sovereignty of India as it passes through Gilgit-Baltistan region of Pakistan occupied Kashmir. So this is the third statement. Let's see, first one, it is part of Belt and Road Initiative of China, correct, first statement should be there. Second one, the corridor connects China with KT Bandar port. No, it is Gwadar port. It is Gwadar port which is located in the Balochistan region that that China is connecting. So second statement is wrong. So you got the answer 1 and 3. Third is correct because it is passing through our Kashmir and it is threat to us. Correct. So answer is B. Ramzan, Keshav, Srinath, Ranjan, Raghu, everyone have answered it as correct. Very good. Asmin as well as Swarupa. Fine. Next one. Which of the following states in India is known for largest breeding areas for greater adjutant stocks? Greater adjutant stocks. Which state in India is the largest breeding centers which are endangered? Endangered in the IUCN list. Maharashtra, Assam, Gujarat and Ladakh. We have seen this distribution in India, right? Assam, Bihar are the regions, right? Bihar is a very small and Assam is the ones which is having the highest breeding areas, right? Yes, correct. Ramzan, Srinath, Yasmin, everyone have answered this as correct. Very good. We'll move to the next question. Very direct question. This we have already discussed, right? Now, okay, this is a little bit challenging. Let's see who will answer. Which of the following statements about proportional representation is incorrect? Proportional representation approach in the election, which one is incorrect? First statement, even small political parties get the representation in the central legislature. So this is the first statement. Second statement, under this system, a party gets seats in the legislature in proportion of their votes polled. Right? First one is, it means that even small parties, if there is a small percentage of voting also, they will also get the seats they are saying. Second one, based on the poll voting, they will get the seat share as well, they are saying. In India, it is followed in the elections to panchayats and municipalities. So this approach we are following in India, in the panchayats and municipal elections, they are saying, right? Last one, it has potentially may result in instability of the government. So this approach may have an instability in the government, they are saying. So what is the answer for this? Which one is incorrect, they are asking. So first one, even the smaller political parties get representation. Yes, even if the vote share is very small also, they will get their due share, right? So this is correct statement. Under this system, yes, seats in the legislature will be getting the parties based on their vote polled. It is not about the who win the party, rather it is about the proportion of their votes. So second statement is also correct. In India, it is followed in panchayats and municipal elections. No. In that also we are following first past the post system. Only in Rajya Sabha and the Legislative Council of certain states we are following it. So C is the incorrect statement and hence it is the answer. So last one is also correct because of the party, different parties are there. That's why we are having a potential instability may be there. So Keshav and then Yasmin, Raghu, Srinath, Swarupa has answered it as correct. Very good. Next one, we have discussed this. Which of the following statements about cabinet committees is correct? About the cabinet committees, there is a question. Cabinet committees are extra constitutional. That means they have not mentioned in the constitution, but rather it was made by the government or beyond constitutional elements. Devised to facilitate in-depth policy examination by the executive. We have three branches of the political entities: executive, legislature, and judiciary. Legislature is the one which frames the laws, executive one is the one which implements, and then judiciary is the one which checks, right? Checks and balances. So it is an executive beyond constitutional, they are saying. First statement. Only cabinet ministers can be members of the cabinet committees. So cabinet committees, they are saying only cabinet ministers will be part of it. That is the second statement. Third, cabinet committees are always chaired by the prime minister, it's saying. So always all the cabinet committees is only chaired by the prime minister, they are saying. So what is the answer for this? This is, third one is wrong, because if only prime minister is part of the cabinet committees, he will be the head. But if he is not part, so other members can also be heading this. So third statement should be removed. Only cabinet members can be part. No, even beyond the cabinet members, prime minister can appoint anyone. So second statement is also wrong. Now, cabinet committees are extra constitutional, correct? They were not mentioned in the constitution, none of the articles. We have discussed this. We have not discussed that it is part of any of the article. It is just merely appointed by the president, prime minister, executive, that is government. So first statement is correct, right? So who has answered this? Yasmin has answered this as correct. So answer is A, one only. Next one, this is taken from yesterday's TSPSC Group 1 examination. Yesterday only. We just discussed, we got a news today, right, related to Belt and Road Initiative, China-Pakistan Economic Corridor. So we have seen this. Let's see the question, what they have asked. Consider the following statements related to Belt and Road Initiative. It is a global infrastructure project that was developed and launched by China in 2013. This is the first statement. Second one, it aimed at strengthening China's soft power in Asia, Africa, Europe by establishing the land and sea routes. So this is the second statement. So first statement is correct. It was launched by China in 2013 to enhance the infrastructure, and it aims to strengthen soft power. Soft power means not a military one, non-military nature. So through infrastructure, by establishing trade routes and all, they will be developing the soft power as well. So answer is 4. Yes, sixth one is D. So one more question. Researchers have recently found 2 antlion species for the first time in India, Thailand and Vietnam. What are they? Correct. So what are they? Antlion species. So we have seen they are nothing but insects. A very direct question. Correct. Keshav, Swarupa, Raghu, Yasmin, Ramzan, Ranjan. So answer is yes, C, insects. Fine. So very direct question. Last question for today. This is asked in UPSC Civil Services 2020 CSP, Civil Service Prelims Examination. So I have taken this. We have discussed this particular article. Correct. Yes. With reference to history of India, Ulgulan or the Great Tumult is led by. So who has led the Ulgulan revolt? So this is the question. Bakshi Jagabandhu, Alluri Sitaram Raju, Sidhu and Kanhu Murmu, Birsa Munda. So who has done this? We have discussed a very direct question. It is not Alluri Sitaram Raju or Bakshi Jagabandhu. This is revolt, Paika revolt. Paika revolt in Odisha, Allur Sitaramraju Koya revolt, right? So this Birsa Munda is the answer. So we have discussed this, right? So lot of past questions were there from the topics. Yes, correct, Srinath, Yasmin, Keshav, Raghu, Swarupa. So this is all for today's session. We have a good number of articles as well as questions. So that's all. Have a great evening. Thank you.